All right, so are you ready to, like, jump down the rabbit hole with us today?
Always down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, so we're going deep with L.A. Marzulli,
Ooh, okay.
who, is kind of like a real-life Indiana Jones.
Okay.
But instead of, chasing golden idols and stuff, he's after evidence of giants and, like, super advanced civilizations.
Wow.
And even the possibility of, like, other dimensions and stuff.
I mean, it's fascinating how he kind of connects all these dots, right? Between, like, archaeology and ancient texts and even modern UFO sightings.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to, like, challenge conventional thinking.
Yeah.
And he presents a really compelling case, I think, for, like, a hidden history.
Right.
That's way more exciting.
Way more so.
And maybe, like, a little spooky
Yeah.
than, like, what you'd find in your average textbook.
Yeah, we're talking about stuff that makes ancient aliens look tame.
Right.
We've got like a stack of Marzulli's books and films and interviews to go through.
Okay, let's go.
So let's just jump right in.
So one of his like most attention-grabbing claims, I think,
Yeah.
is the existence of the Nephilim.
Okay.
And he's not just talking about like tall tales here.
Right.
He believes they were like real physical beings.
Okay.
Described in the Bible as offspring of fallen angels and human women.
Hold on. Fallen angels?
Yeah.
Like the bad boys of heaven?
Yeah, exactly.
So we're talking about some serious celestial drama going down here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Wow.
And like this idea of the Nephilim,
Yeah.
it isn't unique to the Bible.
Right.
You see similar stories of giants in mythologies all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
From Greek myths to Norse legends, even like Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like this primal fear and fascination with like larger-than-life beings.
Yeah.
It's embedded in our collective consciousness.
But Marzulli takes it like a step further.
He does.
Right? He claims to have actual evidence of these giants.
Yeah.
Isn't there a story about a 9-foot-tall skeleton found on Catalina Island?
Yeah, that's one of the more famous examples. Right.
He's documented several cases of giant skeletons.
Yeah.
Including that one.
Okay.
And it's not just the skeletons themselves. He also talks about ancient structures like the Great Pyramid and Sacsayhuaman in Peru.
Yeah.
That seem almost impossible to build.
Yeah.
Even with our modern technology.
I mean, we've all seen those documentaries about the pyramids.
Right.
And how mind-bogglingly precise they are.
Yeah.
I mean, even with cranes and lasers, it would be a challenge to replicate them today.
Yeah, and Sacsayhuaman is another head-scratcher.
Yeah.
It's this incredible Inca fortress built with these massive stones.
Yeah.
Fitted together with laser-like precision.
Right.
And get this, the Inca themselves said they didn't build it.
What?
They claim it was already there when they arrived.
Wait a minute, so who did build it?
Right.
It's like showing up to a housewarming party and finding out that the house built itself.
Exactly, like somebody with like advanced technology.
Yeah. Way beyond anything we can imagine was involved.
Right.
And that's precisely what Marzulli is suggesting.
Okay, now how does the 18.5-year lunar cycle fit into all of this?
Okay.
I remember that being a big part of Marzulli's theories.
Yeah, this is where it gets even more mind-bending.
Okay.
He points out that many of these ancient sites, scattered all over the globe,
Yeah.
seem to be aligned with this specific lunar cycle.
Okay.
And it's not just some random alignment.
Right.
It's linked to a phenomenon called lunar standstills.
Lunar standstills?
Yeah, where the moon's path across the sky
Okay.
shifts over an 18.5-year period.
Okay. I'm going to need a little bit more of an ELI 5 on that one.
Okay.
Lunar standstills.
Yeah.
It sounds like something straight out of a Doctor Who episode.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
Imagine the moon's path across the sky as a swing
Okay.
that's slowly rocking back and forth.
Right.
Every 18.5 years, the swing reaches its highest point,
Okay.
either to the north or the south. That's a lunar standstill,
Okay.
and it's incredibly difficult to track
Yeah.
without sophisticated astronomical knowledge.
So Marzulli is saying that ancient people, without telescopes or computers,
Yeah.
were able to figure out this complex lunar dance and then build these massive structures in alignment with it.
Yeah.
That's like saying the Flintstones were secretly astrophysicists.
Right. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But he sees it as evidence of advanced knowledge being passed down from,
Yeah.
well, let's just say non-human sources.
Non-human sources. Okay.
He even points to the Book of Enoch,
Okay.
which mentions an angel named Sariel, who supposedly taught humans about astronomy and the lunar cycles.
So we're venturing into like biblical territory now.
We are.
Angels teaching humans about the cosmos.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate cosmic classroom.
Yeah.
But how does all of this connect to modern UFO sightings.
Right.
That's a pretty big leap even for L.A. Marzulli.
You're right. It is a bold claim. But he doesn't believe UFOs are extraterrestrial.
Okay.
You know, little green men from Mars.
Right.
Instead, he proposes that they're interdimensional.
Interdimensional.
Meaning they're not from another planet, but another dimension entirely.
Hold on. Are we talking about parallel universes here?
Maybe.
Like stepping through a portal and ending up in a world where everyone speaks Klingon?
It's definitely a head-spinning concept.
Yeah.
But think about it. UFOs often appear and disappear instantly.
Right.
They defy gravity and move in ways that our physics can't explain.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not breaking the laws of physics.
Okay.
They're operating by a different set of rules.
Oh,
rules that govern another dimension.
And Marzulli connects these interdimensional beings back to the Nephilim.
He does.
And fallen angels.
Uh-huh.
So it's like ancient astronaut theory, but with a dash of biblical mythology.
Exactly. He's essentially saying that these beings have been interacting with humanity for a very long time, popping in and out of our reality, influencing our history, and maybe even our evolution.
Okay. I'm starting to see how he weaves it all together.
Yeah.
But we've got to talk about the Fermi paradox.
Okay.
If these beings are so advanced and they've been around for so long, why haven't we made definitive contact?
Right.
You know, like a formal intergalactic meet and greet?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
But his interdimensional theory offers a possible explanation.
Okay.
Maybe they're not out there in the vast reaches of space.
Right.
But right here, just a dimensional shift away.
Okay.
They're like our cosmic neighbors, but they live in a different zip code of reality.
So they're not sending radio signals across the galaxy.
Right.
They're just slipping in and out of our dimension.
Maybe.
Observing us.
Yeah.
Maybe even messing with us a little bit.
Possibly.
It's like that scene in Men in Black where the galaxy is just a marble.
Oh, yeah.
Being played with by a giant alien.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right.
It's a pretty mind-blowing concept, isn't it?
It is.
And it leads us to another aspect of Marzulli's work that often gets people talking abduction stories.
Okay, buckle up, everyone, because we're about to go full X-Files here.
All right.
I love it.
He has documented numerous abduction accounts.
Okay.
And they're not just your typical, I saw a bright light kind of stories.
Yeah.
These are detailed, often disturbing accounts with recurring themes of medical experiments, reproductive procedures.
Really?
It's pretty unsettling stuff.
Wait, are you saying these abductions are like some kind of cosmic continuation of the Nephilim's interbreeding with humans?
It's a theory that he definitely explores.
Okay.
He sees these modern encounters as echoes of that ancient story, suggesting that these interdimensional beings are still very much interested in our species.
Okay, that's officially creepier than anything I've ever seen on The Twilight Zone.
Right.
And I'm assuming these abductions tie into the whole switching off phenomena.
You got it.
That Marzulli talks about.
Yeah, switching off is this strange feeling that many abductees report experiencing right before they're taken. It's like a sudden wave of anxiety, a sense of impending doom, and then poof, they're gone with no memory of what happened.
It's like their internal alarm bells are going off.
Yeah.
But then someone hits the snooze button on their consciousness.
Exactly. It's like a defense mechanism.
Okay.
Maybe even a way for the abductors to make the experience less traumatic.
Right.
At least consciously.
Okay, but the weirdness doesn't stop there, does it?
It doesn't.
There's also the mystery of the implants.
Yes.
That Dr. Roger Lear, a surgeon, was removing from abductees.
Right. Marzulli worked extensively with Dr. Lear, who specialized in removing these strange, often metallic objects that were found embedded in people who claimed to have been abducted.
Okay.
And these weren't just your average splinters. They were often in unusual locations. Emitted strange frequencies. And sometimes even seemed to vanish.
Vanish.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're veering into Stranger Things territory.
You know, right?
Tell me more about these vanishing implants.
Okay, there's one particularly bizarre case.
Okay.
Involving a patient referred to as Bill in Marzulli's film.
Okay.
Bill had an implant for 40 years.
Wow.
And Dr. Lear was confident he could remove it surgically.
Okay.
They located the implant with ultrasound before the procedure, but when they went in to extract it, it was gone.
No way it just disappeared.
It did.
Did they check under the operating table? Maybe it rolled away?
They searched everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Even using ultrasound again. But the implant was nowhere to be found.
Wow.
It was as if it had simply vanished into thin air.
Okay, that's seriously spooky.
It is.
Did they just give up and send Bill home with a phantom implant?
Well, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Marzulli, being a man of faith, decided to try something a bit unconventional. Right there in the operating room.
Right. With a skeptical medical team watching.
Wow.
He prayed.
He prayed.
He asked for any forces that might be cloaking the implant to be broken.
Wait, he prayed in the middle of surgery?
He did.
That's got to be a first for the medical journals.
And you wouldn't believe what happened next.
What happened?
As soon as Marzulli finished praying, the implant reappeared on the ultrasound.
No way.
Clear as day.
Prayer defeated the alien implant's cloaking device?
It seems that way.
That's like something out of a superhero movie.
It was a truly baffling experience.
Yeah.
Even for Dr. Lear, who was a pretty skeptical guy.
Right.
He was able to remove the implant after that.
Okay.
But the incident left him shaken.
Wow.
He later admitted to Marzulli that he now believed there was a supernatural element to these implants and the whole abduction phenomenon.
So even a skeptical surgeon, after witnessing something like that, started to believe that maybe there's more to the story than just advanced alien tech.
Right. It's a pretty powerful testament.
To the strangeness of this whole phenomenon.
It really is.
And it leads us to another one of Marzulli's more controversial claims. His criticism of institutions like the Smithsonian.
Yes, the Smithsonian. The granddaddy of museums. Home to countless artifacts and treasures.
Right.
What's Marzulli's beef with them?
Well, he believes they're hiding evidence.
Okay.
Deliberately suppressing anything that contradicts the mainstream narrative of history.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to the possibility of giants, advanced ancient civilizations, or anything that hints at the supernatural.
So he's accusing them of being the gatekeepers of history.
Yeah.
The guardians of a very specific and perhaps limited view of the past.
Exactly. He claims they're not just ignoring evidence.
Right.
They're actively suppressing it.
Okay.
Hiding artifacts, altering photos,
wow,
even discrediting researchers who challenge the status quo.
Really?
He even talks about a photo of a giant skeleton that was supposedly cropped to remove the evidence.
Wait, hold up. Cropping photos?
Yeah.
That's like something out of a conspiracy thriller.
I know, right? It sounds pretty out there.
Yeah.
But Marzulli isn't the only one who's made these kinds of accusations against the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
There are others who believe that they're not as transparent as they should be.
It's like the ultimate what are they hiding scenario.
Right.
It's enough to make anyone want to grab a flashlight and go
Yeah.
spelunking through those museum archives.
I agree with that.
Right.
But let's move on to another fascinating and perhaps even more chilling aspect of Marzulli's research.
All right, hit me with it.
His work with abductees.
Okay. I'm ready for more tales from the weird side.
One of the most compelling stories he documented involved a man named Al Matthews, a mover, who had a series of bizarre experiences that left him questioning everything he thought he knew about reality.
Okay, I'm all ears. Lay it on me.
Al was working with a woman who had just arrived from Kuwait.
Okay.
Now, this woman was a bit unusual.
Okay.
She wore these thick black glasses, almost like swimmer's goggles.
Wow.
Even indoors.
Okay.
And she kept talking about how they were listening.
They, as in?
Well, she specifically referred to the Greys.
Okay.
Which, as you know, is a common description of the beings often associated with abductions.
Right.
And her behavior only got weirder.
Okay.
At one point,
yeah,
there was a deer fly stuck to her wine glass. And instead of just brushing it away, she calmly swallowed it whole.
Whoa, hold on. Swallowing a deer fly.
I know.
That's next level creepy.
It is.
Did Al run for the hills at that point?
Well, you'd think he would have, right?
Yeah.
But it gets even stranger.
What?
The woman then took off her glasses, sat on Al's lap, and leaned in for a kiss.
Okay.
But just before their lips met, something changed.
What?
Her eyes turned cold and reptilian. She let out this demonic laugh. And Al finally realized how strange the whole situation was.
Okay, that's officially the stuff of nightmares.
Right?
Did she suddenly sprout tentacles or something?
Well, we don't get that kind of dramatic reveal, but Al was clearly shaken by the encounter.
Yeah.
It got him thinking about his own history of unusual experiences.
Okay.
Particularly his recurring sense that he was about to be abducted. This feeling would come over him suddenly.
Yeah.
And then he would black out for hours.
Wow.
With no memory of what happened.
So like his internal alarm bells would start ringing.
Yeah.
And then poof, gone. Like someone hit the delete button on his memory.
Exactly. And Marzulli calls this phenomenon switching off.
Right.
He's documented it in numerous abduction accounts.
Okay.
It's like the abductee gets a brief warning, a feeling of impending doom before being snatched away.
Okay. Now, I'm seriously creeped out, but I have to admit, it's fascinating stuff.
It is. And it raises so many questions. What are these beings really up to?
Yeah.
Why are they so interested in us?
Right.
And what does it all mean for our understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe?
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack.
It is.
But we're just getting started.
I know, right? It's almost like we're living in like our own version of the Truman Show.
Right.
But instead of a TV studio, it's a whole other dimension that we're just like oblivious to.
And maybe those strange lights in the sky are just the stage lights.
Yeah.
And those crop circles are just the set designers having a little fun.
Exactly. But let's circle back to like those giant skeletons for a second.
Okay.
It's one thing to talk about ancient texts and myths.
Right.
But what about like physical evidence?
Yeah, that's where the rubber meets the road.
Right.
If you're going to claim that there were giants roaming the earth, you better have some bones to back it up.
Well, Marzulli claims he does.
Okay.
He's documented numerous cases of giant skeletons being unearthed.
Only to, like, disappear mysteriously?
Right.
Or be dismissed as hoaxes by mainstream science?
Right.
Remember that photo he talked about?
Yeah.
The one from Catalina Island?
Yeah.
That was supposedly altered?
Oh, yeah, the one that was conveniently cropped to make the giant skeleton disappear.
Exactly.
Like, someone hit the delete key on history.
Right, and it ties into his whole criticism of institutions like the Smithsonian.
Right.
He believes they're actively suppressing evidence that challenges the accepted narrative of human history.
So it's like they're the Ministry of Magic erasing all traces of anything that doesn't fit their approved version of reality?
It's a pretty bold accusation.
Yeah.
But he's convinced that there's a deliberate effort
to
keep us in the dark about our true past.
Wow.
He sees it as a form of like intellectual censorship, a way to control the flow of information and maintain the status quo.
It's like that scene in The Matrix where Morpheus offers Neo the red pill or the blue pill. Yeah.
One will show him the truth. The other will keep him comfortably ignorant.
Yeah.
Marzulli's offering us the red pill.
He is.
But a lot of people just aren't ready to swallow it.
And that's understandable.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to accept the world as we've been taught it is than to confront the possibility that everything we think we know might be wrong.
Yeah, it's like realizing that Santa Claus isn't real.
Yeah.
Except instead of just like losing your belief in a jolly gift giver.
Right.
You're questioning the entire fabric of reality.
Right. But even if we like set aside the conspiracy theories for a moment, his research is undeniably compelling.
Yeah.
He's not just armchair theorizing.
Right.
He's out there in the field,
Yeah.
digging into ancient sites, interviewing witnesses, collecting evidence.
He's like a one-man X-Files team.
He is.
And let's be honest, who doesn't love a good mystery?
Exactly. And that's what makes his work so captivating.
Yeah.
He's presenting us with a puzzle, a series of clues
Right.
that hint at a hidden history.
Yeah.
That's far more fascinating.
Yeah.
And perhaps a little bit terrifying than anything we could have imagined.
Okay, but let's talk about the ancient sites for a minute.
Okay.
How do those fit into this whole interdimensional puzzle?
Well, he sees those sites, the pyramids, Stonehenge, Sacsayhuaman, as evidence of advanced knowledge and technology. That predates our conventional understanding of history.
Okay.
He points out that many of these structures are aligned with specific astronomical events, like the 18.5-year lunar cycle we talked about earlier.
Yeah, the lunar cycle thing is mind-boggling.
It is.
I mean, how could ancient people without modern tools track something so complex?
Right.
It's like they had some kind of cosmic GPS built into their brains.
Exactly. And that's why he suggests they had help, guidance from beings with a far deeper understanding of the cosmos, beings who may have come from another dimension.
So are we talking about ancient aliens building the pyramids?
Maybe.
Or maybe time travelers leaving messages in stone?
It's definitely a possibility that he explores. He doesn't rule anything out.
Right.
He's open to the idea that our understanding of history is incomplete and that there may have been other forces at play that we're only just beginning to understand.
Okay, so we've got giants, fallen angels, interdimensional beings, ancient mysteries, government cover-ups.
Yeah.
It's like we've taken a whirlwind tour of the fringe.
We have.
But there's one key aspect of Marzulli's work that we haven't really touched on yet.
Okay.
His spirituality.
That's a crucial piece of the puzzle, you're right.
Yeah.
While he approaches his research with scientific curiosity, he's also deeply rooted in his Christian faith.
Okay.
He sees the Bible not just as a religious text, but as a historical document.
Okay.
A chronicle of events that shaped our world.
So he's not just looking for physical evidence. He's also looking for spiritual meaning. For a deeper understanding of God's role in human history.
Exactly. And this is where things get a bit more nuanced.
Okay.
He believes that the Nephilim, the fallen angels, the interdimensional beings, they're all part of a larger spiritual battle.
Okay.
Between good and evil. A cosmic struggle that's been playing out for millennia.
Whoa, so it's like a biblical epic with angels and demons battling for the souls of humanity.
In a way, yes.
Like Lord of the Rings, but with a celestial twist.
Yeah, and he sees this battle playing out in the modern world as well.
Okay.
He believes that UFO sightings, abductions, even the implant phenomena are all manifestations of this spiritual conflict.
Okay, so we're talking spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
A clash between the forces of light and darkness.
Right.
It's like those epic battles in Marvel movies. But instead of superheroes and villains, it's angels and demons duking it out.
Yeah.
For control of our reality.
It's definitely a dramatic way of looking at things. But he believes that this spiritual battle is very real.
Okay.
And that we all have a role to play in it.
So it's not just about gathering evidence and uncovering secrets.
Right.
It's also about taking a stand, about choosing sides in this cosmic battle.
Exactly. And this is where his work gets really thought-provoking. He's not just presenting like a bunch of weird facts and theories.
Right.
He's inviting us to consider the deeper implications of our beliefs, to examine our own spiritual journeys, and to ask ourselves what role we want to play in this grand cosmic drama.
Okay, so we've gone from giant skeletons in UFOs.
We have.
To spiritual warfare and the power of prayer.
Right.
I feel like we've covered the entire spectrum of human experience in this deep dive.
We have, and that's the beauty of Marzulli's work.
Yeah.
It's a tapestry woven from science, history, spirituality, and even a touch of the supernatural.
It's like he's created a whole new genre.
He has.
Paranormal investigative journalism with a side of biblical prophecy.
And whether you buy into his theories or not, there's no denying that he's tapped into a deep vein of human curiosity, a fascination with the unknown, and a desire to make sense of the mysteries of the universe.
Absolutely. He's reminding us that there's always more to learn, more to explore, more to question.
Right, and that's a pretty powerful message.
It is. It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What if some of what Marzulli is saying is true?
Yeah.
What if there's a whole other reality operating just beyond our perception?
It's like that scene in Interstellar where they realize there's a fifth dimension that we can't even comprehend.
Right. It makes you realize how limited our understanding of the universe might be.
Exactly. And his work is a reminder that there's always more to discover, more to explore, and more to question.
Right. He's challenging us to expand our horizons.
Yeah.
To step outside of our comfort zones and to consider the possibility that reality might be far stranger and more wondrous than we ever imagined.
I agree with you.
Okay, so what's the takeaway for our listeners?
Okay.
What do we want them to walk away with
after
this deep dive into the world of L.A. Marzulli?
I think the most important thing is to keep an open mind.
Okay.
Don't dismiss things just because they sound strange or challenge your beliefs.
Right.
Be curious. Ask questions.
Yeah.
Explore the fringes. And most importantly, think for yourself.
I love that. Think for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't just accept what you're told.
Right.
Or what you read in a textbook. Dig a little deeper.
Yeah.
Ask the tough questions. And be open to the possibility that there might be more to the story than meets the eye.
The world is a fascinating, complex, and often confusing place.
Yeah.
There are no easy answers.
Right.
And the search for truth is an ongoing journey. But that journey is a lot more exciting when we're willing to embrace the unknown, to challenge our assumptions, and to consider the possibility that reality might be far stranger and more wonderful than we ever imagined.
It's like that quote from Alice in Wonderland.
Okay.
I've believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast.
Love that.
Sometimes the most incredible discoveries come from entertaining the seemingly impossible.
Exactly. And who knows? maybe, just maybe, there are giants lurking in the shadows.
Right.
Interdimensional beings observing us from another realm.
Yeah.
And a hidden history waiting to be unearthed.
Wow.
If that's not enough to keep you up at night, I don't know what is.
Well said. And on that note, we've reached the end of part 2 of our deep dive into the world of L.A. Marzulli. It's really interesting how he brings up these huge questions.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't shy away from those big existential questions.
No, he doesn't.
You know, it's not just facts and figures.
Yeah.
He's asking us to, like, reconsider our whole worldview.
Yeah. It's refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, in a world obsessed with data and statistics and all that, he's reminding us that there's still room for wonder and mystery.
Right.
For the possibility that there's more to reality than we think we know.
Yeah, he's like the Fox Mulder of ancient history.
Totally.
And fringe science.
Yeah.
Always searching for the truth, no matter how strange or unsettling it might be.
And speaking of unsettling,
yeah,
we've got to address his claims about the Smithsonian.
Right.
He's pretty adamant that they're hiding evidence that could rewrite history as we know it.
Yeah, that's a pretty bold accusation.
It is.
It's like saying the Louvre is secretly a front for an alien art heist.
Right.
But what evidence does he offer to support these claims?
Well, he points to several things.
Okay.
There's that whole controversy over the altered photo of the giant skeleton that we talked about. There's also numerous accounts of artifacts being like mysteriously mislabeled, removed from exhibits, or just vanishing from the museum's collection altogether.
It's like the Bermuda Triangle of ancient artifacts.
Right.
Things go in, but they never come out.
Exactly. And then there's the issue of access to research materials.
Okay.
He claims that the Smithsonian makes it super difficult for like independent researchers to access their archives.
Right.
So they're effectively shutting them out of the process of like historical inquiry.
So he's saying they're not just gatekeeping history.
Right.
They're practically putting a giant do not enter sign on the whole damn thing.
That's essentially his argument.
Right.
He sees it as a way to maintain control over the narrative, to ensure that only certain perspectives, certain interpretations of the past are allowed to see the light of day.
Okay, let's play devil's advocate for a moment.
Okay.
What if Marzulli is right?
All right.
What if there really is a hidden history?
Yeah.
A vast repository of knowledge that's been deliberately kept from the public.
Right.
What would that mean for us?
Yeah.
For our understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe?
It's a mind-blowing question, isn't it?
It is.
It would mean that, like, everything we thought we knew about our past, about human evolution, about the rise and fall of civilizations, could be wrong.
It's like finding out that the Earth is actually flat.
Right.
And the whole globe thing was just a giant prank played by cartographers.
Exactly. It would completely upend our understanding of who we are, where we came from, and what's possible.
It would raise some pretty unsettling questions.
Yeah.
About who's in control, who's pulling the strings,
right,
and why they're so determined to keep us in the dark.
It's like that scene in The Matrix where Neo realizes that the world he thought was real is just a computer simulation.
Yeah.
It's a terrifying thought, but it's also incredibly liberating.
Yeah.
Because once you see the truth, you can't unsee it.
Right.
That opens up like a whole new world of possibilities.
Okay, I'm starting to get a little bit of an existential crisis here.
Okay.
But let's bring it back to Marzulli for a moment. Even if we set aside like the grand conspiracies and the mind-blowing implications, there's something undeniably compelling about his work.
Yeah, there is.
He's like a modern-day explorer.
He is.
Venturing into uncharted territories.
Right.
And bringing back tales of wonder and mystery.
He's reminding us that the world is still full of secrets.
Yeah.
There are mysteries to be solved. And the search for truth is an adventure worth taking.
It's like Indiana Jones, but instead of chasing after lost artifacts, he's chasing after lost knowledge, lost history, lost possibility.
And he's doing it with like a contagious enthusiasm that makes you want to like grab a backpack and join him on the quest.
I know.
Yeah.
So what's the takeaway for our listeners?
Okay.
What do we want them to walk away with after this deep dive into the world of L.A. Marzulli?
I think the most important thing is to cultivate a sense of curiosity, a willingness to question, and an openness to the unknown.
Right.
Don't just accept what you're told.
Right.
Dig a little deeper. Ask the tough questions, and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo.
It's like that quote from Albert Einstein.
Right.
The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing.
Exactly. And that curiosity, that thirst for knowledge, is what drives us forward, what expands our understanding of the world,
Right.
and what ultimately makes life so interesting.
Absolutely. So if you're feeling a little adventurous,
Yeah.
a little curious,
Yeah.
a little bit like you want to pull back the curtain and see what's really going on behind the scenes,
Right.
we encourage you to check out L.A. Marzulli's work.
You might not agree with everything he says,
Right.
but you'll definitely be entertained, challenged, and maybe even a little freaked out.
Yeah, and isn't that what a good deep dive is all about?
Absolutely.
Well, that about wraps it up for this deep dive
It does.
into the world of L.A. Marzulli.
It was a wild ride.
It was a wild one.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.